Welcome to News Extra, and it is time for the third annual Mini-Con that takes place at the Monument Mall, and I have Mini-Con President Blaine Sexton with me today. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course, this is the third iteration of Mini-Con. This year, what can people expect if they take part coming up here on the 26th?
Well, besides what you can find most years, which is comic books, local artists and vendors, and cosplay, we have a special guest, Ron Fortier, today that will be coming this year. He's this is his third year coming. He's a comic book veteran in the industry. Wrote comic books such as Green Hornet, and has his own run of indie comics. We have several panels running throughout the day. Especially one on how to cosplay. We also introduced a new segment this year called Fighting with My Friends, which is a...
Okay, now you're going to have to explain that one a little
Sure.
bit.
So Fighting with My Friends is a great idea. So anyone that has a passion about pop culture, whether it's comic books, movies, science fiction, fantasy, they can get into fights with their friends about it because they have an opinion about how something should have been. So I thought that would be a really great segment to have where we have a team of our own experts versus attendees that are coming to the Mini-Con that can argue it out and have a good time and see which one can make the best argument.
Okay, well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yep.
Now, you know, having somebody that's been involved in the development of comic characters, especially one of the superheroes, kind of a neat deal to have somebody involved in something like this.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And besides that, we also are having several different contests that are running throughout the day. We have a comic book drawing contest hosted by Ideal Comics, Matthew Reese and Barry Tetz.
Okay.
This is looking to be very good to help promote our local artists by giving them a chance to create a 3-panel comic from the start of the con to the end of the con.
Okay, and I'm assuming this has grown every year, and one of the things that obviously is a big deal when it comes to attendees is the cosplay.
Oh, most definitely. And cosplay is kind of my own personal passion. I started cosplaying in 2016. And last year when I joined up with Ideal Comics to help set up the Mini-Con, I took over the cosplay portion of the event. So yeah, we're definitely going to have a cosplay contest this year, which is kind of the crowning jewel of the con when it comes to it. It's at the very end of the event, and anybody can sign up. We have 3 different levels of competition this year. We've got junior, beginner, and advanced.
Okay.
And that's open to anyone from age 5 to 65.
And of course, people can be really creative when it comes to what they use to put together their costumes, basically.
Oh yes, most definitely. We've seen cosplays made out of paper, cardboard, fabrics, of course, are a really good go-to. I might make mine out of anti-fatigue mats. Okay.
You never know what's going to come in handy when it's time to put on your own potential superhero outfit or whatever the case may be. Emulating somebody that's in popular culture, in the comic books. Of course, there's a whole lot more to Mini-Con than just that, and we'll be right back in News Extra with more. And we're back on News Extra, and my guest today is Blaine Sexton, who's the president of Mini-Con. They have the 3rd annual Mini-Con taking place at the Monument Mall. Again, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me again.
Talk a little bit about the origins of how the event itself started up here locally.
Sure. Well, many people may not realize this, but we've actually had a local comic book company in town since 2005. That's a company called Ideal Comics. It is co-founded currently by Matthew Reese and Barry Tetz. And in 2016, they decided that with the help of the Monument Mall that we should put on a local comic book convention. So it was a 1-day event, and it was set up to celebrate what they call a 24-hour comic book day, which is where artists throughout the country try to create a brand new comic book in 24 hours from inception to completion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they did that event to not only have their own 24-hour comic book day here in town, but then to also help promote the art of comic book writing. And then we had game time collectibles come down, and it really became kind of a spur-of-the-moment Mini-Con. Okay. And then we still had a cosplay contest that first year as well, and it's grown from there.
Okay, and has the popularity of it's evolved over the years. Comic books being the originator of mostly for kids primarily, and then you have graphic novels that are added into that. Certainly the genre has changed and evolved over the years.
Oh yes, it definitely has there. We've actually seen comic books go from kind of the outer reaches of society, where it was just for nerds or someone that really wasn't in the popular limelight, to where that's mainstream now, and that's really cool to see that people are really embracing their passions for things that really interest them, and not having to shy away from society standards.
Yeah, and we've even seen a number of movies that have been out that have been done in a graphic novel type of format, basically, in the way it's been shot and produced.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's actually, I think Hollywood's really seen that comic books are a really great source material for movies, because it does create its own word picture. It makes everything really come alive.
Yeah, pre-made storyboards, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
And going into movie production. Of course, this is the third annual mini-con that's taking place at the Monument Mall. Again, give us the details on what people can expect.
Sure. So the High Plains Mini-Con runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, October 26th. It's completely free to attend. Guests can start arriving right at the beginning. We will have a comic book drawing contest starting at 11 a.m. People that want to involve in that are encouraged to bring their own materials. We will have some available, but we like if you can. Your objective of that contest is to create your own 3-panel comic book strip before 3 o'clock. So it's a pretty rough short time frame, but Ideal Comics will give a crash course on how to make comic books right before that.
Sure.
Then we'll have various panels throughout the day, such as how to cosplay. We'll have Ron Fortier, who's a comic book veteran in the industry, interviewed. We have a local musician, Gabe the Brute, will be coming down at around 2 o'clock to do some live music. And then at 4 o'clock, we have our cosplay contest, which really caps off the event. We get to really show off people's costumes and see how the kind of work they put into it. That event's also open to all levels, from junior to advanced level, and we have prizes available for that as well.
A lot of fun going to be coming up at the Monument Mall on October 26th. Blaine, thank you very much for joining us on News Extra.
Well, thank you very much for having me.